This is the last day that Hamish will be in the studio. The new owner has been staying overnight with us, and as you can see from the photograph, she was introduced to him and he took to her quite nicely, which he does to everybody. He's very friendly. Hamish, that's kind of rude in front of the public. Hamish, say goodbye. Say goodbye, Hamish. Come on, come on then. Come on. Oh, there you go. So I'm a little sad, but I think he'll have a long, healthy life in a nice environment with a person that stays at home all day, and she will have me as a contact if anything ever happens to her, that I will take him back. So he's got a home for the rest of his life, no matter what happens, and he's a sweetheart. So I think he'll make her very happy, and he's going to be really happy too, because he has somebody who worked in a veterinary office who's going to be taking care of him in a house with no other cats and big windows to watch the birds. So I think he's going to be very happy, even though he nibbles people. He likes to bite you, and he likes to get your hair too. I wasn't going to film this because I've been doing kiln openings almost every other video, it feels like. So, but there's some really nice pieces in here again. I have an entire dinner set, 8 plates in here, and this is blue, green, copper, red with a little adjustments. I've added more silica to it to stop it crazing, and then some oatmeal on the rim. Same again here, so you'll see 8 of these coming out here. Actually, I already took 2 off the top shelf. But then these turned out really nice. Let me turn some lights on here. Okay, these turned out really good. I did a little paddling texture on these. That noise in the background is Hamish playing. I just gave him a toy to distract him. And I have a bunch of these. And this is all matte turquoise, variegated blue, and oatmeal. And there's another one with a little paddling on it. Nice little vertical lines, if you can see there, like a little squares. It's a commercial paddle. You can make your own paddles. Here's one where I left a clay visible underneath. And then 4 mugs like this, so I can just show you one. All in that color, matte turquoise, variegated blue, and oatmeal. Next layer down, we've got the plates again. So I hope she's coming to pick these up today. I've had a lot of mail orders in the last week. Oh, the Tenmaku Gold always does that running down the handle. I try to glaze it so it doesn't. I can grind that off, but it always looks best when it does that. So it's kind of a compromise, because it really runs a lot. It's Tenmaku Gold with variegated blue and oatmeal, dipped in the upper half, and see, it goes all the way to the bottom, so it makes it run a lot. I wonder if the T-bowls did that. Nope, they didn't. So the T-bowls, same glazing, but I did matte turquoise on the bottom, and that stopped it. So there's a clue to maybe start doing those like that. Matte turquoise again, which is very thin, so it doesn't have much of the actual green showing through. But look at the nice runs when you get the little kind of altered form type things going on here. That one's really pretty. Look how the Tenmaku Gold and the turquoise did that on the bottom there. That's really pretty. It's like made of yellow. And there's, well, like the ones on the top shelf. And let's see if it ran again. Yes, it did. So I got some grind. Well, that one's going to take some getting off too. But so I'll have to grind that one. Took part of the stilt with it. Same glazing, but didn't do it. Isn't that funny? Just a tiny bit, but it didn't reach the bottom. So it is a matter of, when I dip them in, I try to dip them at an angle, so like that, so the handle doesn't get lots on and it won't run down the handle, but it still does a little bit. And then another one, so I've got some grinding on 3 of these. Is it 3? Yeah, 3 of them. Not a big deal. Okay, I just ground off the bottoms, as you can see, so they're level now. They sit without wobbling, so that's all 3 of those. It only took like less than 5 minutes to grind it off. Okay, then another plate. So that means I've got 7 of these out. 1 more on the bottom, I guess. Then we have a glaze that's called mouse grey, or mouse brown actually, in Mastering Cone 6 glazes. And I use my oatmeal over the top of it, and that's how I get that kind of weird, like, mottling effect there on the top. Depends on how thick you apply the oatmeal. This is a glaze, the oatmeal, that I use tin oxide in it, which is hugely expensive now. And I just, you know, have to bite the bullet because I love it with the tin in it. It'll do different things with different other opacifiers in, like titanium dioxide works a little bit too. And I mix half and half titanium dioxide and tin oxide, so 3.5% of each in this mouse grey, which is called mouse brown in the book. So there's another one of those. You don't need to see that; it's the same. Now I've got some more T-balls. It's another one of the Tenbaku galls, and I threw these with this sort of a little wiggle to them, and the matte turquoise on the bottom. Another variation now, and this one I used a sponge, a kind of rough, worn-out sponge, over my dark blue with the oatmeal and brushed it upwards. So that's why you get this kind of variation effect over the dark blue, and then matte turquoise on the bottom. So there's a few of these, and this one, because it has those ripples going through, almost like throwing rings, you get the sponging of the oatmeal over the blue, breaking up even more. And this one, the dark blue is turned out beautiful in these. It's deep, deep indigo blue. It's basically my same recipe as the blue, green, copper, red, but it has cobalt in it instead of the copper for the blue, green, copper, red. And then a bunch of these T-balls again. I love making T-balls, but they don't sell super fast, and I price them so low just because I love making them and I want to be able to keep making them. I'm getting cold from the floor. There we go. I guess I'm going to have to pick him up again. He must have got bored with the toy. Oh, he doesn't want to leave me alone as usual. But I wish he wouldn't attack your hair, because he likes to groom you on your head. I guess they do it, cats do it to each other, but he likes hair, and so if you can get to the top of your head, he starts digging his claws in and grooming you. Hamish. And this time in the morning, he's full of beans. It's only 9 o'clock and all that, because he's been on his own for 16 hours. So, you know, his whole future is full of people, because he'll never be on his own again, except for the odd hour when the lady Kas goes shopping. If you want to see where he is, I'm sure she'll post photos of him. She's a professional photographer called Kas Stone Photography. So you can look her up. I'll put a link to her website in here. See, he's fighting already. He likes to bite and all that sort of. He's a kitten, really. He's a kitten. The very last layer down, the last one of these, so all 8 work, which is nice. I have a couple of lids for some jars in the next firing, and this is a glaze which I have just modified because it actually is a little cloudy, and I've made it with mixing my cone 4 clear glaze with the cone 6 clear glaze, and we're getting a much clearer version of this now. So these will be the last I do with this straight clear. It's out of Mastering Cone 6 glazes as a clear glaze, but it always is just a touch cloudy. And my cone 4 clear glaze is perfect. And I thought, well, he can't send it to cone 6, so I'll mix 50-50 each glaze. And I've ended up with a really nice clear now for cone 6. But it's a complicated recipe. I have yet to work it out in a percentage formula. I just mix both glazes independently and mix them together. I've only done it on a small scale, but I will mix up a 5-gallon batch. But they're nice on their own. I mean, they're still clear, but I can see the difference between the other clear and this one. A couple of lids which you'll see the jars in the next firing. Okay, this is the second kiln. And I did some large canisters and did a little bit of paddling on these too, to give the glaze something to kind of pick on. Just a little bit of, it's on fairly thickly on that piece too. So these lids were for those. There we go. That's a bright blue one. This paddling, well, that stilt almost collapsed. Just barely made it. This is one where I paddled fairly heavily. And let's hope the lid fits on that. Yeah, I was worried about that one because of the paddling. It kind of distorted it quite a bit. A couple of dishes left over from the berry bowls I made recently. Oops, there you go. I don't see the lids in there, so I've got 2 more of these, but these do have lids as well. Yeah, these stilts only have 1 pin to hold them up, and that was barely enough because the stilt kind of bent over quite a bit. I can rescue the stilt and use it again. So this was just bright blue and matte turquoise dipped opposingly with variegated blue and oatmeal on the top. Same with this one. Paddled very heavily again. It's almost a complete square now. I don't use paddles very often, but it worked there. Then we've got some more tea bowls. And that's, I think that's rutile green. And then we've got purple and variegated blue and oatmeal on the top. Same again with this one. Almost crawling, but the glaze is underneath there. And this had some little square paddle stuff on it there as well. Again here. I do sets of 4 when I do these, so it's basically matte turquoise, I think, and then purple, and then variegated blue and oatmeal at the top. And I do change things when I'm glazing, so I'm not sure. The first one I think was actually my rutile green, but I'm not sure. Could be the matte turquoise again. And then we've got some dark blue mugs. I might have to move things. I'll just show you one of each of these. Dark blue with variegated blue and oatmeal. It's a really pretty dark blue. It's the base glaze for blue, green, copper, red with cobalt added. And then, whoops, the bright blue. Variegated blue and oatmeal. This is, I do this all the time. And the same for the rest of them there. And what's that one? I think I have something different on the top than that one, but I'm not sure. Because it's got a green tint, so I may have used a different glaze on the top there. Maybe I did the matte turquoise over the top as well as the bottom. Who knows? We'll never know. Next layer down, let's have a look at these, because I think these are Randy's red, but it didn't go very red. There's a reddish tint to these, but it's not Randy's red, that's for sure. And I didn't apply it super thick, so that's probably the problem. And here's a little tea bowl. I also don't do the soak at the high temperature anymore, so I don't get quite as nice a red on that one. Then I've got, let's pick these carefully. I've got 4 of these, which is bright blue, or is it dark? Yeah, it's bright blue with matte turquoise and variegated blue oatmeal on the top. Are they all the same? Yep, that's the same. And that's the same again. And that's the same again. Then we got a bunch of yellow. I use the apple green on the bottom of the yellow with these, and then the bright blue on the inside. I did some T-balls in the yellow and green as well. The yellow is working really nice. It's almost nicer now than when I first mixed it up, which would be a year and a lot further back than a year. I only mix glazes once every 2 or 3 years of each type, unless it's my blue, which I mix a couple of times a year. Blue, yellow, and matte. No, it's not matte, it's apple green. And the rest are fairly much duplication. This is just my black oatmeal and variegated blue. And the rest are all the similar ones down there. Okay, a few more T-balls. So we're going to drop these on the whale. So these are quite pretty. They've got grooves, throwing rings going up, plus the wavy line. That gives that quite a bit of energy. And then that one's also similar. And this one's no grooves, just the wavy lines. It's very pretty though. And there's one that has some basic sort of a fluting going up, and this is one more with the throwing rings. Of course, this black oatmeal and variegated blue. And the last one, same glazes, with some fluting lines going up. And let's see this last Tenmaku Gold one. Nope, still dull brown. A little bit of red there. But there's something not quite right with the Randy's red at the moment, and I don't think I had it thick enough. I don't I'm going to try putting one of these in a bisque firing and see what it does. Somebody said a while back that you might try refiring them in a bisque firing. And here the red is good. It's turning to brown on the other side, but that one's better. And this one's a little better too, but it's still not as red as it should be, although that's pretty nice there. Those are the two lids. I'm well stocked on whales now because they've been selling so well that I decided to make a whole bunch for the season ahead of time, so I won't be running out of these because they really draw people into the gallery when they see these all on the wall outside. And the last one on the bottom was just a whale. So that was that kiln firing. So this was a little kiln firing that I did and made the pieces because of Hamish, because while he was here he wanted to be with me all the time, which is very difficult when my hands are covered in clay. So I did a lot of decorative pieces where I could sit there and carve, just so I could, you know, be right next to him and he could have his hand on, his little paws on my arm while I was carving. So these are all sgraffito pieces because of Hamish. So and they're big tankards and all that, all in the seascape scenes around here. So this is simply a matter of BMX5 clay sprayed with a slip, which is 40 ball clay, and that's OM4, and then EPK 20%, silica 20%, potash feldspar 10%, and frit 3110 10%, and then add 10% black stain, and that gives you this black. And I did 3 different techniques. I did the seascapes, crows, and whales. This was the last thing I did, basically, decoratively, to give him a lot of one-on-one contact with a human. And Kaz loves him instantly. He sat with her straight away. He's a kitten. I mean, he's probably around a year to 14 months old, and he's very playful. And he likes to nibble and bite, but he doesn't draw blood, he just grips you with his teeth. But that's enough to frighten some people if they Obviously somebody had him before because he was, you know, very kind of compatible with humans. But I think maybe he was too feisty and bitey, maybe with children or something. But I still can't believe that people would dump a cat. This is the smallest one of the bunch. And this is a big one. This is a 20-ounce pint mug. The others are probably more like 28. And there's one of the whale ones. I'm not sure if I recorded this while I was carving them or not. So these are bisque to cone 06 and then glazed. I can put the glaze recipe in the video too if I remember. I often say that and then I forget to do it, but yeah, I'll always give it to you if you email me anyway. That was a nice one. I did the ocean again, splashing as the whale came up. The regular mugs in these are between 79 and 98. So these are going to be more like 125 Canadian dollars. Because there's a lot of time consuming carving in these. They're all black when you start. I think there's 4 crows, 4 whales, and 4 seascapes. And I think there are 9, so we've got 3. So yeah, this is the last one. So a little crow. Alright, now I'm going to post a bunch of photographs of Kas and the cat in his new home. And basically, she's going to send me pictures of him too, and I'll post them in the videos for the next couple of videos. Give you updates. He was very popular with my subscribers and with everybody who came into the studio. He was a great cat. He is a great cat. Oh, and just 2 flower balls underneath. Just clear glaze over underglaze painting with these ones. And these are 59 Canadian. Canadian dollar used to be par with the US dollar, so when I started pricing things I kind of kept in that $1 to 110. So now that the Canadian dollar is collapsing because of the threats from south of here, you know, things are not worth as much, but it's great for people buying from the States because your dollar is now worth $1.45 or even worse probably for us. We could go, they said it might even get to $1.50. So, but you know, bad for us and good for the people in the States.